When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. A live look at Albertsons Stadium as we get you set for the Boise State Spring Game here in less than an hour now, or just about an hour here. BJ Rains, John Mallory. You know Johnny from 95.3 FM, the ticket Prater in the ball game. He's sporting the new shirt there, Johnny. We like it. This is Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. BJ Rains here. We're streaming Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as we get you set for the spring game here. We're back in, I don't know what this room's called, here on the 6th floor in the Stickles Sky Center. Johnny, it's a little chilly, but it's sunny outside. It's beautiful weather, and football's here, man.
It's got that Boise wind, huh? All those tailgaters out there in the parking lot right now. I walked through the stadium, and it's got a spring game feel. You know, spring game feels different than an actual game, and, you know, that's a good thing. I mean, I'm just here like I'm a fan today, you know. I want to watch football. I want to see plays. I want to see, you know, splash plays. I want to see deep balls being completed, you know, defensive players swarm into the football and guys getting after it. And to me, that's kind of what the spring game is about. It's just kind of a celebration. It gives you a chance to look at some players that you really haven't seen play before. And in this case now, the world of college football, with all the early enrollees that get on campus in January, this is the first time they really get to put on a Bronco helmet and play in front of some fans. Yeah. And so there's obviously a lot of storylines there, and I'm excited to be here. I woke up and I thought, I didn't wake up today, BJ, and say, man, I got to go to work today, right? I was like, no, man, I get to cover the spring game. This is going to be a blast. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I will say this. It was tough. You know, golf was on. We had baseball on today. You know, there'd be a reason to be on home on our couch today, but the spring game is one of the few reasons that gets us up and gets us down here. And we got a great view here, by the way, seeing downtown Boise out the windows here on the 6th floor. Get your comments in, your questions in. Where are you watching from? It'll be a shorter version than a usual pregame show, but again, if you have a comment or a question for Johnny or I, we'll get it. This is, I guess, technically the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show here. We'll preview the spring game, and again, there's a live look outside of the spring game. Fans are just getting ready to start trickling in. It's beautiful weather out there today, so looking forward to it. And Johnny, we got Hunter saying, I'm a fan today too. Jessica, who's watching in Idaho, says she likes it. You mentioned kind of just, you know, I don't know how much George Helani we'll see in this game. There's no need for him, I don't think, to get tackled and hurt his knee. We kind of know what he can do in a scrimmage like this. So I think George plays, but probably doesn't get a full workload. Hank's going to get his action too, but you probably won't see a ton of Hank. Maybe you do see more of Talon and Vidlak and kind of see that quarterback battle. With Ashton Jeanty is going to get a lot of action probably in this game. Where are you going in terms of some positions or players that you're looking forward to seeing today?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, a lot of talk in spring ball has been the arm strength of Talon Green and now Sam Vidlak into that conversation. I think Tim Plow, we spoke with him yesterday, he kind of doubled down on that. He said Sam Vidlak might have the strongest arm on this team. So I want to see that arm. I want to see the Oregon State transfer play a little bit. You always
go right to the quarterbacks, man.
I love quarterbacks.
On your post-game show on KBOI today, you'll be talking about it. Is it a quarterback controversy going into the summer?
Maybe for QB2. I mean, I think Hank's got a firm grasp, obviously, on the starting role, but no, those are what I want to see. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, the spring game, they're not going to show you much. It's not going to give you much of a look. But I look at that and I say, man, well, football's football. You're not telling the whole world a big secret if you throw the ball deep to Austin Bolt a couple of times, right? That's just football. You know, static on a crossing route over the middle. Like, we don't want anybody to see what we're doing. Every team runs crossing routes. Every team throws the ball deep to a receiver that they want to get with a lot of speed on the outside, right? So hopefully we just see football today. And yeah, you're probably not going to see the annexation of Puerto Rico, the biggest secret play they've ever had, right? Probably not going to see that, but that's fine. Show us, off tackle. Show us some read option maybe. Obviously the quarterbacks can't get hit, so they won't get hurt. You won't see any of that. But I guess that's kind of where I am. I just want to see football today, PJ.
You're fired up,
plain,
man.
Simple form football.
This dude is fired up. We got 5 people in this room, but I think they could hear him from all the way down the hall here, man.
Am I that loud?
Yeah. I mean, that's nothing new, but you're fired up here today. So we love it. It's why we pay you to be on here, man. But you do have Brent Chapman chiming in. Bolt.
I want to see it too.
He's going to be one of the storylines today, right?
I want to see the local product. I want to see the Bora Flash. People keep saying he's the best, one of the best athletes on this team, maybe the fastest player on this team. We saw him get one deep shot last year against New Mexico, and I want to see more. I would love it if the very first play, they're in shotgun, maybe a Hank play action pass, and let that sucker fly to Austin Bolt down the sideline. It's a spring game. Let's all have fun, right? And they're doing this thing, the quirky scoring system, BJ. I guess I'll let you talk about it, but in the second quarter, they're like stopping play, and they're going to do some red zone type of game / drill
or something. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing just what that is, and hopefully that's exciting. The worst thing about spring games, and we've all been to them, and if you haven't, I'll let you know, a lot of times they are boring, man. After 10 minutes, you're like, can I go now? I don't want that to be the case today.
I think it's called the knockout game or something. Basically, it's a red zone drill from the 15-yard line. You get 4 plays to score.
Yep, I love it. And the defense,
from the 10, you go back to the 15, and you try to get a touchdown, not a field goal. The defense gets points if they hold you to a field goal, or if you missed a field goal or you go for it and don't get it. The offense obviously is trying to score a touchdown, and there'll be some other simulation things in there. I think it starts out with 8-minute quarters today, and then you're going to have maybe a running clock in the second half if they've got all the plays in they need to. There will be a halftime. Modified scoring, as you said, defense gets points for sacks, interceptions, things like that. So it is kind of a unique scoring system, but it's offense versus defense. And as Joel Schneider told us and Andy told us last week, there is something on the line here. The winning side, offense or defense, gets a nice steak dinner tonight. The losing team still gets a decent meal. They get, I think it's hamburgers, but everybody wants a steak over a hamburger, right? So the winning side gets a steak dinner tonight. So there's something on the line too, and some bragging rights.
That'll be fun. I want to know who, if anybody, who's going to steal the show tonight. Who are we going to be talking about on post game that, whoa, did you see the play?
There's always somebody in the spring game, right? Some third string DB that has a pick, or some fourth string running back that gets to play the whole fourth quarter because the other guys are done, and he ends up as the leading rusher with 80 yards.
I could see Tyler Crow having a great game. No question.
There always is somebody like that coming out of the spring game you weren't talking about. He caught the 4 catches and had 1 long touchdown, and you're saying that's the guy.
McLean Griffin last year, remember? He led this game in receptions and receiving yards. I don't know if Khalil Shakir played last year in the spring game. I want to say he didn't. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. If he did, he wasn't very active.
I think he was coming off knee surgery or something. Yeah, I think he maybe took a couple punt returns and that was it.
There's always that guy that puts that show on, and I want to see who it is today. Sorry, but back to the quarterbacks.
I think Taylon Green is all eyes on Taylon Green today, right?
Does he get the most reps, in your opinion, in this game for any quarterback? Is it going to be Taylon Green that gets the most, in your opinion?
I guess probably so, right? I mean, I don't think it's going to be Hank. I think they want to keep Hank safe, let him get some work with the ones and get him out of there. I don't think you see Hank play a ton.
Yeah.
And
Kalani too, right?
I don't think Kalani plays much at all in this game. He's perfectly fine, and they want to keep him that way because after today, the next day he gets tackled, will be against Oregon State probably, or one of those fall camp scrimmages. The last couple of years, all summer, he's been rehabbing injuries. They want George Kalani going into the summer like he has all spring, healthy and working on his weight and his arms, which are massive. We were all down there the other day. He's obviously put on the right kind of weight, unlike us. But, and I think other storylines, I think Scott Matlock, I think this defensive line, are they ready to take that next step? This offensive line, Cade Beresford at right tackle coming over from Washington State. We've heard a lot of good things about him. I think Tim Plow was basically saying it was a huge, transfer portal free agent pickup for us to get him. Yeah. Sounds like he's going to start at right tackle, but, there's a couple of starters out, right? Ojuku's out today. There's at least one more starter out that I can't think of. Is Curran out?
KHG playing?
Dooley's out. I think KHG's in there.
That's big
which
for
is good to
KHG
see.
because he didn't take a snap last
So
year.
I think both lines are interesting and worth fans watching too.
Yeah, it is. And the rotations to see who else is getting some snaps there. The offensive line, what's the depth there going to be like? I think the line is going to be much better this year than it was last year. I think there's less moving parts, more stability, but where's the depth, right? And maybe we can answer a question or two in that regard today if we see the line pushing. I mean, if the line is winning the battle of line of scrimmage, the offensive line, I think that'll surprise a lot of people today, don't you? I think the defense kind of has ruled the roost around
some of those
here.
Guys like Shane Irwin are out. There are some key guys out along the defensive line, but you got Obasheri, you got Matlock, you got some of these guys, and they're going against second string offensive line.
What about the two JC kids? The pass rusher on the end, name escaping.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Is it Devin Wright?
Devin Wright, and then Cortez Hogans. He's an interior defensive lineman.
Yep.
These guys played very high level junior college football and made plays. Like I think the coaching staff was really excited to get these guys. I think Wright might be more of a situational pass rusher, but maybe he gets some of that.
What
today.
about your guy George Tarlas too?
Oh, he is a bundle of energy, right? I mean, there's a lot of storylines. I forgot about another local product in George Tarlas. His first chance to put on a Boise State uniform and play in front of some fans today. I'll tell you, if he gets a sack or something or a big play, Tarlas is going to have some type of shimmy, some type of move.
Greek freak, right?
I think he'll put something on it. He's a showman, and he's fun to watch, man.
Someone was mentioning here, don't forget to watch for Oladipo. We talked to him. I think that safety rotation with Skinner and those guys, and I think safety is going to be worth watching. I think corner is going to be worth watching, right? We've heard a lot about Caleb Biggers and some of the action there. I mean, and then at linebacker as well, you lose Riley Wimpy. We talked to Brandon Hawkins yesterday. He's one of those guys going for that spot. But I think there's, you could go to each position along this whole team, frankly, but especially on defense, and there's going to be something to pay attention to there.
No question. And we want to see that dependable depth that you hear around Boise all the time. Not just depth, but guys we can actually put in and not lose much, if anything, BJ. I'll take your defensive line talk, and I will raise you the tight end position. Do we see anything?
There's the comment. Someone's asking about Casey Klein making that move to tight end. Does he do anything?
Me and that dude are on the same level here. What, if anything, what are your expectations to see out of the tight end position? Because it's a position, maybe more so than any other, that's been beaten up during spring. Riley Smith's not playing. Hopper's not playing. It gives us the opportunity for some younger guys to come up and make some plays. Do we get anything out of the tight end today?
I think that's interesting because you do have some injuries there, so you're not going to have Riley Smith out there, but some of the other guys, and Kurt Rafdal we talked to coming back for his extra year. So Hunter says Tarlas, he goes way back with Tarlas, he says. So
he's fun, man. Yeah.
Anything on special teams we're looking for? The Australian punter, see him out there? Or although Avalos kind of told us we're not going to see him out there doing like all the rugby style stuff to put on tape for other teams. So that's the other thing. I can already hear the post game stuff when the offense doesn't do much in this game, saying, "Oh, here we go. You and Prater will be leading the way. Year 2 of Tim Plow looks nothing different than year 1. Here we go." But let's not forget. I mean, they're having a whole practice on Monday so they can run some of the plays they don't want to run today. I mean, it is going to be a pretty basic offense today.
And that's all I need to see. But playmaking within the basic offense. You're not going to let everybody know your deepest, darkest secret by putting Steph Cobbs on a post route and hitting him in the middle of the field. You're not going to let any cat out of any bag throwing the ball deep to Austin Bolt a couple of times, right? For me, the spring game, it's a lot too about, hey, fans, here's what we're doing. We're going to have fun with you guys. We're going to put on a show here, because if the coaches are saying, hey, we don't want to show anybody anything here, okay, well, put on a show then. Let's all have some fun. Let's celebrate the sport of football. Let's celebrate the city of Boise. Let's celebrate the blue, and let's get after it and watch hopefully an exciting spring game. And that might be an oxymoron. I've been to a lot of spring games. I've never left a spring game saying, oh, that was awesome, man. I've never done that at a spring game.
There's a first for everything, Johnny. But, the first kick return, they don't tackle, so the first kick return will be a touchdown. Everyone will cheer for that. That's always kind of the spring game tradition. But
who's going to return that kick?
Is that Cobbs?
Yeah.
Or who is the big
Static, I think.
year?
I think it'll be Static. Maybe Genty.
Oh man, if he gets
Who's going to
involved
return?
in the
I've
return
always,
game,
yeah.
if they get him out there doing some punt returns and things, man, a lot of storylines. Going to be a lot of fun. You guys, again, I know Bob's going to be on there right with the call. It's not the video is not being streamed anywhere of this game, but there's a radio broadcast, right?
BNN can't stream it.
I didn't try actually. Maybe I could have bought the rights to this or something. Maybe next year.
But
maybe next year. What's the radio situation?
The KBOI tonight. You're home for BSU on the radio. Obviously, Bob Beeler, Pete Cavender.
Their pregame show's on now, so you can flip over and go ahead and when we're done here, flip over to KBOI, and then I'll be doing a segment as well, and then they'll have the whole game. Bob will be on there with the whole game, try to make sense of the scoring summary and all that jazz, and then you and Prater, right, post game.
KBOI post game about an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes after the spring game. Go to 670 on the AM dial, 93.1 FM, and we'll do a special edition of Bronco Game Night and take a bunch of these calls. So
how about this? Stuff. We got somebody watching from Australia here, relation to the
what
Australian...
time is it? Sam Ferguson. What time is it?
I think that might be
in
Dad.
Australia
is that
right
Dad?
now?
Is that Dad, a proud dad watching this from Australia right now, or a brother, or someone obviously related to James Ferguson Reynolds, the Aussie punter? So we brought him up, and he's got family watching.
What
How
time
cool
is it there? That's what I want to know.
Well, we can stall for 20 seconds while he gives us the answer there. What time is it? But yeah, it's going to be fun.
What time do you think it is in Australia right now?
Oh, it's the next day, probably. It's the next morning.
I'm going to
go. It's a Sunday morning at like 10 o'clock.
I'll say Sunday morning at 6:45.
Okay, I think it is going to probably be Sunday morning. I think they're ahead. They're a day ahead. So yeah, Sam, let us know the time here. But appreciate everybody for checking this out. Appreciate all of our great sponsors, rowpaint.com, Lithia, Florida, Boise, ICCU, all of our great sponsors. Check out that golf tournament too, June 3rd. Johnny's going to be out there. He's waiving his autograph fee if you want to get an autograph or a picture. But June 3rd, you can check out BroncoNationNews.com. We got Stell Wright coming in from Mississippi. There you go.
I know what time it is in Mississippi.
Probably a relation to who we were just talking about from Mississippi.
The pass rusher, Devin Wright, I believe is his first name. And we're looking forward to seeing him ball today. Hopefully, tune in. I think you can probably stream it for all these people who are out of town. I think you can go to the KBOI website. You can probably stream it online and hear Bob Beeler on the call.
Yeah. So Jessica's saying Sunday. Yes, it is Sunday. Well, Ferguson there must be a delay on the internet there. So Sam having trouble getting back to us, but we were trying to guess what time it is in Australia. So Mississippi, Australia, we got players, parents watching from all over, family members. So should be fun today for the spring game. And again, you can check out KBOI's website. Boise State website might have a link to the broadcast. And you can hear Johnny and Prater on KBOI on the postgame show as well. So about 45 minutes from kickoff, they're getting ready to do the Bronco walk here. There's fans outside. There were some grills going and tailgating. Football's back. So enjoy it, folks. We appreciate everybody for checking this out. And Johnny, any parting words here?
Let's have fun today. Let's celebrate football, and let's see some playmaking out on the blue. Last year's spring game, I fell asleep, BJ. I don't want to have to happen again tonight. I
keep Johnny awake. Let's go, Broncos. We'll talk to you later, guys, at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.